Okay everybody, welcome to a new track guide. This week we're at Le Mans, well tomorrow we are. This track guide has been one of the most draining to make because it's just been ruined by all the slowdown penalties at Le Mans. I mean, genuinely it's taken half a year off my life with all the slowdowns I've got. You may wonder why it looks different, why it looks so, well, bad. Because I'm not on my PC, I am at home. So I'm using my little brother's computer, which is this monitor is not 1080p and it's really small, so I apologise because I do make a few mistakes a slap, but I will obviously tell you where that mistake was, what we can do differently. I'm still trying to get used to it, but this is the best I could do for now. If I'm way off the pace, then I will make a new one of these as per usual. Okay, so this lap was a 3:16.977. I think that's going to be quite competitive. In my opinion, I think because the P1 docks, and that's on a obviously esports set, they did a 3:16.5 or something like that, so this is only 4 attempts off. I say only, but it's quite a bit, but obviously that's esports, and usually we're a bit slower than esports sets, but anyway, let's get to it. So coming out the last 4 chicane, just prioritise exit as much as possible, and then coming into the first corner, we don't go all the way to the left because there's no need to. We got that much downforce, what's the point? We're just going to lose time because obviously we're travelling a further distance if we go around the outside. So position your car in the middle and then get over to this right curb. Boom, once we're on the right curb we brake just where that line is right there. I'm just going to turn my headset down because it's pretty loud. So you brake just at that line and then we can shift down into first gear. Some people take it in second, what I've seen. I prefer first, just because I feel like I have more front end, and on this fixed setup you have really understeer, so more front end is always welcome for me. The brake bias, by the way, that I was using, I'm sure it wasn't 48, maybe it was. It should be I usually use 47.25, maybe that's why it was a pig this lap. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, I'm using the bop. But anyway, go down into first gear, and we cut the first beat, so lenient on the first cut, very not lenient on the second cut. Yeah, so we were very conservative because before this I had about 50 slowdowns in a row on this same corner, but we can cut a lot more than this. So let me go into chopper and then I can show you a bit more clearly. So as you can see, we're very conservative, but as long as our right wheels are on this curb, we're fine. Accelerate midway through the chicane. Spot this corner, and this was too big of a lift to be honest. I lost quite a bit of time on the chicane, as I said, quite a few mistakes in this lap. So we can cut more than this, and actually no, this is about the perfect cut. Right here is the perfect cut, but it's a smaller lift. You can lift to about 50% here, instead of my like 20% lift. It was a bit too much, but so this is how much you want to cut. Let me go into chopper. Boom. And then on the exit, as long as we have our right wheels over this curb, we're fine. As you can see, artificially extended my track limit, did not take this at full speed that I should have. So we're coming down, we just cut as much as possible. And then this one's very interesting, into the S's. So I don't really have a braking zone for you, but this is more feel for me anyway. So we shift down to fourth. We get over to the left hand side and we really try and use the camber as much as possible because you can see there's a lot of camber here. So we get into fourth and we get on the power once the car has nicely rotated for us. Don't get too horny on the throttle here. If you get too horny, you're going to get spat out wires, you're going to die. So just be patient, but also think this corner is so crucial. So make sure you get it right because obviously the Tetra Rouge is flat out. So this corner literally sets up the entire Mulsanne straight. And then once we do that, we get over to the right and we put our inside tyres, yeah, inside, along this around the inside of this curb, and it basically just hooks us in. Tetra Rouge is flat. On race fuel, I'm not too sure. Maybe on race fuel. I know P1 Doc's race setup is flat, but fixed. Not too sure. So just experiment and be careful here, because the off tracks are very likely. So this is about as much as you want to cut. And then as long as we have 2 wheels on this curb, we're fine. Boom. So now we're down the Mulsanne. And our next braking zone is this 100 board. Boom, right there. So as soon as it starts exiting our screen, brake to 100%. We can't get over too far left here because of this cone, and we get slow down if we do. It's going to be a very common word, I'm going to get sick of saying it. It's just slow down after slow down. So what we want to do is we brake 100%, shift down into second, and I will actually go into paint and I'll illustrate to you something when we get there. So we can hook our wheels on the inside here of this curve, but not too much. If you do it too, even just a little bit more, like we have to have our inside wheels scraping against the edge of the curb. We raise back the pressure, and then we get on the inside of this corner. And then we can bring it all the way out wide, but you see the middle of this curve, we have to be over to the left at this point. We can't just ride the outside of it too much. Boom, that's perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to illustrate what I wanted to do. So, brushes, okay. So this is our brake, and this is, well, our time, so throughout the corner. So we brake to 100%, let's call that 100. We trail off, and we nearly hit 0, and then once we enter the final part of the chicane, I don't know why I just did that. Once we hit the final part of the chicane, we ramp back up again, and then we trail off again. So it'll sort of look like this. This is what your trail brake should look like in the corner, in the first chicane. So flat out down the Mulsanne. The second chicane, we brake really late here, way later than we do on Le Mans Ultimate when I used to play it. It doesn't work anymore though. But so yeah, very late, and it's sort of the same as the first chicane. Second gear, hook your tyres on the inside. Can't cut too much, so as long as our inside tyres are scraping against the edge of the curb, we're fine. Yeah, so I could have cut way more here, to be honest. This was a bit not the best. Again, so we can cut more, and once we're in second, we ramp up the pressure. Boom, we saw the ramp up, and a little bit of a coast, which is not ideal. And then we get our inside tyres on the inside of this curb again, but we have to scrape it. And we ride this curb all the way around the outside. We can't cut too much here. All the way down the inside. Okay, coming into Mulsanne corner, I think it's called. So our braking zone right here. So we're coming on, we cut as much as possible. And you see where this sort of edge of the curb lies, that's what I use as my reference. Can't hit this cone, and we shift down into first, and then we can cut quite a bit here, as long as we don't hit this post. We can't hit a post here. Boom. We can scrape the gravel here, but not too much. Just graze it. Okay, so now we're coming down into Indianapolis. So this is flat out. The right, Indianapolis is flat out. Then we brake straight after we get off this curb. This wasn't ideal, again. I might honestly make a hot lap video of this, of a better lap, and then you can compare that against this one. This one's still pretty okay though. So we come down off Indianapolis, flat out, and we brake as soon as we feel the car get off this curb. And then when I was looking at the P1 docs, they didn't use this curb at all, which is a bit, I don't know why. I've experimented quite a bit, but I think cutting is way faster here, but I could be wrong. So when you're doing your laps around here, experiment, see which way is faster. But for me, I cut. I'm in second gear at this point. And track limits here are, we can graze the gravel, but we can't do too much. So just graze it and you'll be fine. Get all the way to the left here. There's no such thing as track limit, apart from when you hit this cone. You can't hit the cone. And we brake at the 50. And we trail brake into first, and we can really mount this right hand side curb. So miss the cone, mount the right hand side curb, get back on the power. Track limits, we can go all the way right, pretty much. Okay, coming into the Porsche curves, probably the best sequence. So we can almost take these flat out. You're just going to have to experiment a lot, which is what I did. So the first Porsche curve, we just do a teeny lift just to get the front end to work with us a little bit more. Boom, little lift, get back in the power. We get spat in the middle, don't get scared here, and then we take this next section flat. Then we can mount this right hand side curve. I just get very scared of this wall, but I probably should. Then we brake. It's a nice light trail brake into fourth, but very high fourth gear, which means the RPMs are still very high in fourth gear. We could probably take this in fifth, but I feel like there's more front end in fourth, because obviously you have more engine braking, and it just gives that tiny bit more front end. So as you can see, when we shift down, all the lights are red, so that's a good sign. Stay right here. If you get spat out in the middle, you're taking this completely wrong. You will know that you got this right if you can take karting almost flat out. So as you can see, there's a tiny lift, little lift. So you'll know that you got the previous corner right if karting is flat out or very close to being flat out. If it's not, you have to do a big lift and it's wrong, because you can gain so much time here. Track limits, so I could have taken that flat out because we didn't use all track limits, but as long as our two wheels are on this curve, we're fine. So just cut as much as possible. Then we brake when we can come into pit entry here a little bit, and then we brake at the yellow curve. So this was a teeny bit early, to be honest. You can brake a bit later than this. So in fourth, shift slowly down into third, and we can cut a lot on this first left. So as long as our two wheels are on this curve here, and then here we have to be a bit more lenient, so our right hand side tyres can just about graze this little track limit post, but nothing more than that. And if you're accelerating midway through these, you've probably done it wrong. Then we shift down into first. Cut quite a bit here as long as two wheels are on the road still. And then cut. I don't take this sausage curve though, because it just bounces the car too high. And then we can graze the gravel, but don't fully get into it though, otherwise you get a 1x. And that's over the line for a 316.977. Decent, okay-ish lap, but quite a few mistakes. I still think there's about 3 temps in there. So we're looking at about 316.7-ish. I think though if I was on my normal setup it would be a fair bit faster. But let's play this uninterrupted. that was a lot around Le Mans. I just wanted to go over a few things watching that hot lot, 'cause I didn't go through them when I was doing the actual guide. So here, this is about how much track limit you want to use on the screen. So reference could be the middle of this little notch here on the right hand side of this white line, and then it'll be the same, probably the same on Indianapolis, although this one doesn't really matter too much because this is flat out regardless, so it's about the same as long as this notch is on the right hand side of this. And then one last thing, we can cut all the way through here on Mulsanne Kink, which could save us a little bit of time. So that's a lap. I'm sure there's going to be faster. That wasn't the best. I don't think I will be doing this week unless Track Racer, my rig, comes to here. I've got a bit of a story. You can, by the way, track guide's ended, so if you don't want to hear this, by all means. So I ordered the rig off Track Racer, and what happened was they forgot to send me parts for it, like what was it, corner brackets. So I emailed them, and then one of the customer service people were just like messing me about quite a lot. But then I got a phone call, and it was a guy called Alex, and he, no bullshit, just sorted it out, and I was so thankful, because honestly I was very worried watching the reviews of Track Racer just being like, no customer service. But yeah, so he's sorted it out, it seems like, anyway. So now I'm getting a replacement. I need to exchange this one basically, so I need to send this one and he sends the new one. So yeah, bit of a pain, bit of a disappointment, to be honest, because I was really looking forward to having a rig, because I don't even have one on uni, but uni's not too bad because the desk is silicone to the wall, so the desk doesn't really move too much. The only thing I don't like about uni is the pedal position, because I'm sitting so high and the pedals are so low, it feels like I'm in a bloody truck or something like that. So it's just not ideal. But yeah, not the worst lap, considering this is like, I've only been on this PC for maybe like 3 hours in total, which has gotten me semi used to it. It's just the biggest thing for me is the screen being so tiny that the FOV is wrong for it, because I can't go any lower. It's already at 45 degrees, so it's already really low, but I can't change it. So that's a bit of annoying, but yeah, that's a lap. I also want to thank everyone for the support as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, trust me, like I do. Makes me very happy that some people are watching these. This one wasn't the best. I'm just very frustrated at this track. It's just there's so many track limits. I love this track, but there's just too many slowdowns. Like, I get 1x's, but slowdowns for like the littlest thing, it's just such bollocks. But yeah, enough of my rant. Thank you for watching.